So guys, welcome. Like I mentioned, a lot of people are out again for summer vacation, so we're gonna postpone the probate and trust discussion, which is a really important discussion that a lot of our agents ask to be participating in that class. So I'm just gonna postpone that. I apologize. I know this is like the third time, but we can talk about, I think, things that are relative to our everyday work. That's probably the most important thing, right? What we're dealing with on a daily basis. So before I begin, I wanted to ask any of you guys, you especially, give me some feedback, any experiences, any questions, anything that you guys want to share with all of us that has happened during showing homes, open houses, anything, any experiences. I have one, but I thought maybe you guys want to go first.
Like in general.
Generally, you want to share anything that was interesting with all of us so we can make note, we can maybe learn from it, we can
I don't
relate
know
to
if it's
it.
interesting or not, but I just realized that although we all thought that it's a buyer's market, it's not. It's not. It's crazy. Like every house that we go, we see, we want to put an offer. They all like they go or they sell like 50,000. In some cases, 100,000 more than asking price. And I don't know if I have to say if it's a buyer market or if it's a seller's or it's no one's market, you know. But in general, it's a crazy market. That's my experience that in this past few months.
So I think it's a buyer's market still, but you're right. The sellers are still taking advantage, especially of properties that have high demand in good areas, good properties.
Mm-hmm.
So what you say is very true and relevant only to properties that are good location, good property, priced well. They have to be priced well. But why is it still a buyer's market? And that's kind of what we want to talk about today. So what you said, as usual, opens the discussion to what we're going to talk about today. So it cannot be no one's market. This got to be buyers or seller. This is a very unique time in the real estate industry where um, the sellers are still getting, like you said, some sellers are getting 20, 50,000, some 100,000 more than what they have listed. Why is that happening? So let's talk about it a little bit. So this, you guys can talk to your clients or your potential buyers. A lot of this goes back to, when they ask us, do I wait or do I buy now? Kind of goes back to that. So I got that question yesterday, like, why should I buy now when the properties are still going over and the rates are high? Well, let's look at that. If right now the properties are going over, the good properties, and the rates are bad, this is very logical and is very basic. If you just zoom in, what will happen if the rates are down for those same property? So what would happen if the rates were 4% versus 7, and those good properties that are priced well, good location, what will happen then?
They will go.
They will even go up more.
Mm.
You cannot say nothing. That's impossible. It's like the mathematic rule. You know what I mean? So when the rates go up, they're going to go down. When they go down, there'll be more demand. More demand for bad properties, more demand for mediocre properties, more demand for good properties. So in that sense, if you zoom in, it is a buyer's market, but buyer's market for only buyers that can afford. And that brings us to this 10% kind of a discussion, and also their income, their budget situation. So I'll share with you like my experience to relate to what you said. So recently I took a buyer to Chatsworth and West Hills to look at homes. This was 2 weekends ago. So not this past weekend, the weekend before. The second house we went in Chatsworth, off Topanga, but towards West Hills, they have listed at 999. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2 stories, 2,000 plus square foot, land like 9,000, pool, nice area of Chatsworth, like I said, towards the mountain. So when we went in, there was a lot of people. As usual, I tried to speak with the agent. It was an open house, so I kind of, introduced myself. I put in all the little things I needed to place in because I knew these people were interested. There were three brothers, father, mother, grandkid. There was like seven of my buyer had seven of the family members there, and they were all talking positive. So I went to talk to the agent. There's a lot of demand on that day, so it's priced well, good location, good house, nicely maintained. The family have lived there many years, so all the boxes check out for this property to be what you said. Long story short, I made friends kind of with the agent. We related our, you know, casual conversation about how the market, COVID versus now is. And there was 8 offers, okay? 8 offers, houses priced 999. We went 150 the first round. She said out of the 8, 7 are getting counters. They got counter. I ended up going 1,101,000. So which is 101,000 over the asking price. And we won. We got the property and we're in escrow now, but it went 100,000 over. But I think that property, she priced it well. That property is easily worth 1.1. And I was explaining to my buyers that, look, your rate is going to be high, I understand, but this house works for you guys. There's 5 of you. This is 5 bedroom, and everything checked out for them. Basically, I'm not going to get into that. And I told them, like, look, you're getting the house right now for 1.1. So let's compare. What if we wait a year? Identical house with the rate instead of 8 being 5. They were a bank statement loan. So this 1.1 is going to go 1.2. For sure it's going to go 1.2. I mean, of course it's going to go 1.2. So that's what we want to talk about today. So if they have waited, they're going to pay $100,000 more. Okay? 100,000. It's in this range at least. It's basically 10% more. So if you want to think about a $500,000 property, think of 50,000 more. $1 million property, 100,000 more. So if they wait, so this is the question, this is how you answer the question. You guys seen me do this in my consultation. If somebody has 20% down, 15% down, if they find the right home, it's better to make a move. If they don't, they'll pay 10% more next summer or whenever the rates go down. This is just an assumption, but it's a pretty good assumption based on what we saw happening when the rates were down. So basically, rates down, price go up 10 more percent. Rates high, price are down now 10%. Now I know, again, most people I even speak to, like, hey, there's no inventory, hey, the prices are still, I get that, but I've also purchased home. We have another house in escrow that went into escrow 2 weeks ago, a condo, and we got it at asking price, just as asking price. And the appraisal came a little bit less, and they were able to come down. So not every single home is hot. I know what your clients are looking for. It's a single family home in Granada Hills. This is a good area, so it's going to be hot. So basically, $100,000 versus what? What is that going against today? So we could answer the question. And I know we did a video on this. Versus the rate, right? So if we go on average 2% rate difference, 2% rate difference, I would say on an $800 million, $700,000 loan, each percent we could say it's on average, even if we want to say $500. 2% is $1,000 more. So let's say they pay $1,000 more, right? Monthly payments, okay? More monthly. What I'm doing, I'm comparing their saving versus their monthly payment, which is higher. So let's say their monthly payment is $1,000 more. Okay, let's just agree on that. We're looking at $1 million property, and they're putting 15% down, 150. The loan is 850. Rate is 7 versus 5. The payment is $1,000 more every month. So, and let's say for another 2 years, they cannot refinance because the rate will remain high. Let's say, if we go 2 years and we take the 1,000, multiply 24, we're gonna get 24K. 24,000 is what they're paying extra monthly payment because of a bad rate. Let's even say it's not $100,000. Let's even say it's not 10% difference. Let's even say 5% difference, that we could all agree at the very minimum. You guys know what I'm referring to, right? I'm saying if they wait 2 years from now, same property is going to go up 10%, which is 100,000. So at this comparison, it's a craziness if they don't buy because they're saving like $70,000 mathematically. But I know people will question me and say, how do you know rates will go down? How do you know prices will? I understand. I'm just going based on assumption according to history and according to what happens in the marketplace, but there is no guarantee of what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, don't take it as a guarantee. Take it as an assumption based on the facts we have by looking into the past, the immediate past. So when the rates go down, prices are going to go up because there'll be a war on those good houses. And right now we're talking about those good houses. Even if we go 5%, so this will be $50,000 versus 24. So it's kind of, you still save 25,000. So it's better to buy now, but again, buy now all refers to you finding the home you like for your buyers. This is not an investment talk. This conversation is for people that want to keep their home, for the families, first time buyers, second time, somebody that wants to live there. Of course, the main thing is make sure you like the home because when you keep a home long term, a lot of these just fades away. But if people ask you this question, this is how you will talk to them. If they have 15% down, 20% down, they could afford the higher payments with a higher rate, you should buy now. The other thing to note is property tax, right? So property tax on a 1 million property versus a 1.100, right? So property tax is according to your purchase price. So if you're buying at 1 million versus 1.1, your property taxes are going to stay lower for as long as you keep that property. So my suggestion is, yes, rates are bad. Yes, properties, there's not a big inventory. Yes, good homes, there's still a fight. I agree with all of the above. But if someone is, if a customer comes to me and they're trying to buy a home for themselves, not investment, not rental, I'm just talking for themselves. And if they tell me, Kevin, we do have 15% down, we do have 20% down, then I say, well, rates are here. Your payments are going to be this. Can you afford this payment? If they say yes, we can, then I say it's better for you to buy now, refinance later. So you buy it with 5 or 10% less than the saving, and you refinance it later. And when we do the comparison, it's very easy. They pay $1,000 more for until they refinance. Let's say for 2 years they pay that. That's 24,000 extra they're paying. However, they're buying the $1 million property at $1,050,000 versus $1,100,000 because there'll be a crazy fight when the rates are down. So that's why maybe we see people still buying because they feel, those people that are out there, they feel that when the rates go down, they'll even be worse. So your clients are gonna, if they don't buy by next summer, their whatever money they have, it's gonna be less valuable to them because the prices are gonna go up. Yeah, rates will go down. But wouldn't it be perfect if you buy now and then refinance when the rates go down so you buy it for less? I know this property that we're in the market, I mean, mark my words, this is a beautiful property. It's 1.1 they're getting. I know this property 2 years from now, it's gonna go up. Whenever the rates go down, like really good, and the prices increase again, this property is gonna go up 100,000. This is a steal for them. But again, they priced it well. She could have priced it $1,075,000 and maybe it would have even gone up more, the property on Hannah Street. But if somebody has less than 10%, so I have clients that I meet with all the time, first time buyers especially, they're like, I have 5%, I have 3.5%. They have a lot less. Well, in that case, if you have less down, what will happen automatically? When you have less down, you have more of a loan. You have more of a loan. The more loan you have, the more payment you have. So when the rates are high, that puts a lot of pressure on you. You might not be able to last 2 years to get to the finish line to refinance. So when you have less than 10%, that's why I'm saying it might be better to wait because your loan amount, it's gonna be a lot more. That's something we need to make a note in our mind. If we sit down with clients that are first time buyer or they have 5% down, even 10% down, do the budgeting for them. Say, okay, listen, you have 10% down, you have 50,000 down. You want to buy a $500,000 condo. Loan is 450. Let's look up the rate. Here's your rate. Here's your payment. Can you afford this payment? She says, oh my God, no, I can't. It's like 500 over my budget. Then you say, okay, hold on. What if we wait a year? What if the rate go down 1%? Let's see what the payments is now. You give it to her. And she's like, oh, I can afford that. Okay, then maybe it's better for you to wait for the rate to go down. Then I know the question will be, well, what if I wait and the price go up? Well, it's kind of like saying you got to buy what you can afford. That's the first rule of thumb. That's what we budget for our clients, and that's what I think everyone out there will do that first. As a family, we sit down and we budget. As an agent or loan coordinator, we sit down with our clients and we budget. Everything starts with that. If you can't afford the payment, thinking about I want to do ADU or they're going to be prices will go up. Well, if prices go up, then you need to find a less of an apartment, less of a price to be able to fight. So instead of buying a 500,000 property, then you go buy a $450,000 property, so you could get into that multi offering betting kind of a thing. But the first thing first is the budgeting, and I think with these high rates, a lot of people cannot afford the payments. They're scared, and that's why they're hold off. But if you do come across a buyer that does have better income, does have the down payment, then I think it's better. I think it's better to do that. What I want to close with is this thought, and I know I'm putting myself in Ani's shoes, your shoes, all of you guys. Like even Elizabeth that's not here, everyone. I just want to state this as an encouraging note. I think the career we have chosen or the path we're on, it's one of those career and paths that has lots of blessings, lots of opportunities to spend time with family, lots of advantages, lots of good things. But it has one of the biggest challenges of any career. And that big challenge is, I think, is two-part. One is obviously getting your client network, getting clients. Nobody's going to give it to you. You got to find clients. Second is the competition out there. There are a lot of agents out there. And when you get a client, they tend sometimes, especially if you're representing a buyer, they tend to go with the agent who's selling the home. They tend to talk to other agents or other relatives. So you constantly have to babysit in a sense or keep them at their toes. Those are the two big challenges. So on the reverse part, the pay is extremely well when you're a real estate agent. The time you spend is extremely fun and short for the amount of money you're getting. The kind of work you're doing, we love what we do. The result of what we do, we make people's dream come true. We help them buy their home. It's amazing, right? Making your own schedule, that's another amazing thing. Being your own boss in a sense, being able to coordinate time to family and work, all of that is like the blessing. But my encouragement note to you guys is hang in there. Know that this is going to take a long time, maybe for some of some of some of you guys that are like starting out, stick to it. Have a game plan that's practical. My encouraging thought is recognize the good when you're going through the bad. Think of the good. Most of you have parallel jobs or plans, or maybe you're married, or maybe you stay at home. Stick to that, but don't give up on this. This career is one of those careers that a lot of, I think, I don't know the exact number. Per and I were looking at it last summer with Ani. A lot of agents that get their license, I don't know if it was 50%, 70%, they never use it and it fades away. Think of practical things you guys can do to make one deal happen. Don't compare yourself to an agent that's been an agent for 4 years. Just stick to your own game plan. I think for us, usually I'm encouraging representing buyers, not because there's a difference, just because it's more practical. People might come to you for a loan. Since you have a basic lending knowledge, since we have a loan officer in the office, we can bring him here. Things that will set you apart from other agents, things that would stick to whoever you give your business card to, are the things that are gonna progress and take your career forward. And lastly, we are in a market that no one is buying. So if I was to sum it up in one word, I went to a car dealership yesterday. I spoke with a gentleman named Hike. He's a really good guy. He's a manager for like Jaguar, Bentley, Porsche in Pasadena. And he said, Kevin, I want to give you some business. I'm like, sure. This was like a year ago. So I went and saw him yesterday. I'm like, what happened? You said you were going to give me some business. He's like, Kevin, no one is buying. And this guy has like 5, 7 rentals. Like, no one is buying. Right now, it's not a good time to buy. Prices are high, rates are high. That's people's mentality. And obviously, I did my 2 cents, my 2 minute pitching to him that who is buying. But basically, we are in that time. So right now, this is a hard time. So even if you have 2, 3 buyers and you're trying to make something happen, it's good. Market will change eventually. I don't know, next year, the year after, it will change. So we'll go, we just want to get to that point that they'll be busy again. So in conclusion, guys, there is a video on Instagram and I think our YouTube channel. Generally speaking, if you have more than 10%, you should consider buying. If you find a property you like, if you could afford the payments. Generally speaking, if you have less than 10% and you cannot afford the higher payment because of the higher rate, then it's probably a good time to wait. Any questions, any thoughts we can talk about? Nope, no? Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, thank you.